Welcome to the fourth module of the chapter Ecosystem. In this module, we will be learning about the process decomposition, steps in decomposition, and factors affecting decomposition. So in the last module, we have studied about the first function of ecosystem, that is productivity, and the second function of ecosystem is called as decomposition. So what is decomposition? The process by which complex organic matter is broken down into simpler inorganic substances is called as decomposition. It is done by decomposers which break down this complex organic matter into inorganic substances like carbon dioxide, water and nutrients, and this process is called as decomposition. In decomposition, we have to come across a new word called as detritus. What is detritus? The dead plant remains such as leaves, bark, flowers and dead remains of animals including fecal matter is called as detritus. Detritus is the raw material for decomposition. That means it has to break down the complex organic matter, and this complex organic matter is present in the detritus. So detritus is a raw material for decomposition, and detrivores are the organisms which break down the detritus, that is a raw matter, into smaller particles. So we have come across two new words, detritus and detrivores. Detritus is a raw material for decomposition and detrivores are the organisms which break down the detritus into smaller particles. Examples are millipedes, dung flies, wood lice, burying beetles. All these are examples of detrivores. There are 5 steps in the process of decomposition. First is fragmentation, second is leaching, third is catabolism, fourth is humidification, and fifth is mineralization. So first 3, fragmentation, leaching and catabolism, these 3 takes place simultaneously, whereas humidification and mineralization, which follows after catabolism, it is taking place inside the soil. So let us see each step in detail. So fragmentation, the process of breaking down of detritus into smaller particles. As we learned, detritus is the raw material which includes bark, leaves, branches, fecal matter, dead bodies of animals. All these are the detritus. So the process of breaking down of detritus into smaller particles is called as fragmentation. It is broken down into smaller fragments, and that is called as fragmentation. Next, let us learn about the second step called as leaching. After fragmentation, the water-soluble inorganic nutrients, that is the nutrients which are soluble in water and it is inorganic in nature, it goes down into the soil horizon and get precipitated as unavailable salts. It is not available. It gets just precipitated. It is not available later. So, and that goes and merges into the soil horizon, and that is called as leaching. So after fragmentation, some water soluble inorganic nutrients, they go and merge into the soil horizon and it is not further available to us, and that is called as leaching. So we finish fragmentation, which is breaking down of the detritus into smaller particles, that is called as fragmentation, and in leaching, the water soluble inorganic nutrients gets leached out into the soil horizon and it is no more available, and that is called as leaching. Third is catabolism, the process by which bacteria and fungi, they produce enzymes and they degrade detritus into simpler inorganic substances, and that process is called as catabolism. So fragmentation, after fragmentation we have leaching, and then we have catabolism. In catabolism, it is done by, when fragmentation is done by detrivores like earthworms and all, this catabolism is done by bacteria and fungi, and they release enzymes and they further degrade the detritus decomposes into simpler or smaller inorganic substances, and that is called as catabolism. So these three steps, fragmentation, which is done by detritivores like earthworm, leaching, and catabolism, which is done by fungi and bacteria, all this takes place simultaneously on the detritus, and it is followed by humification. Humification is the accumulation of a dark colored amorphous substance called as humus. So further, after catabolism, it is followed by humification, and humification, it takes place in the soil. It leads to the formation of a dark colored amorphous substance which is called as humus, and this humus, it is highly resistant to microbial action and undergoes decomposition at a very slow rate, and it is colloidal in nature. We know what is a colloid. It is a substance which is microscopically dispersed evenly throughout another substance. When one substance, very small substance, is dispersed evenly in another substance, it is called as a colloid. So this humus is colloidal in nature, and it is a reservoir of nutrients. So humification, which takes place in soil in which humus is formed, and it is highly resistant to microbial action, and it undergoes decomposition at a very slow rate, and it is a reservoir of nutrients. And last step is mineralization, which is again taking place in the soil, in which the humus, which is formed by humification, is further degraded by some microbes and release inorganic nutrients by the process called as mineralization. This is a pictorial representation of decomposition which is given in your textbook, and in this picture we can see a tree. From the tree, a leaf falls down to the ground. A green leaf falls to the ground. Some are eaten by insects and other animals, and by this process nutrients and energy enter into food web. See, through this arrow it is showing that the nutrients enter into the food chain and food web. Whereas some, it is acted upon, some nutrients leach into the soil by chemical action, that is a leaching process. It is called as a leaching process. Whereas some is, see what is happening, some is undergoing fragmentation. Leaves partially consumed by decomposers such as fungi and bacteria, they begin to, see, it is acted upon by detritivores such as earthworm, and then it is released into smaller particles which is acted upon by fungi and bacteria, and then it is start to lose their form and become the litter. And further decomposition by earthworms, bacteria, soil, mites, fungi, all this releases the organic matter into simpler inorganic substance which is released into the soil, and from the soil it is again utilized by the plants, and thus this cycle continues. That is, the nutrients get cycled between through the process of decomposition. Next, we study about the factors affecting the rate of decomposition. The main factors which affect the process of decomposition are, it depends upon the availability of oxygen. If there is oxygen, then the rate of decomposition will be greater. And the type of material which is present in the detritus also determines the pace of decomposition. If the detritus is having chitin and lignin, then the rate of decomposition will be very slow. Whereas the presence of nitrogen and water soluble substances like sugars is there in the detritus, that it increases the rate of decomposition. Again, the environment where decomposition takes place also determines the rate of decomposition. If the environment is warm and moist, then the decomposition will take place at a faster rate. Whereas if the environment is having a low temperature and the environment is dry and it is anaerobic means no oxygen condition, then it will inhibit the process of decomposition. So the availability of oxygen, the type of material present in the detritus, and the environmental condition, all these are the factors which affect the rate of decomposition. So dear children, in this module we have studied what is decomposition, the steps involved in decomposition, and the factors affecting the rate of decomposition. Thank you.